Hello, this is me and Henri, aka Heron's Waltz, doing our first training 3-phase at the Majestic Oaks December schooling show. Henri is a 14-year-old off-the-track thoroughbred who is owned by Elisa Wallace. He was her 2016 RRP horse, and I believe he was top 10 there. And I'm going to just talk through each of our 3 phases at the schooling show. Dressage is definitely Henri's least favorite of the 3 phases, but I thought that we did a decent job on this dressage test, especially for a move-up test. So I thought our center line was pretty good, and that was actually one of our better canter transitions. It was nice and prompt. He stayed pretty soft in the bridle, and then this is supposed to be a canter lengthening, and you can see I moved up a little bit, but there's not a whole lot of difference between our working canter and our lengthened canter, and coming back he just gets a little bit against the bridle. And you can see on our canters we also have our haunches thrown a little bit to the inside, which is something that we've been working on. That downward wasn't too bad. And then this is the first of our 2 lengthened trots, and again, not really a lot of difference shown. Henri actually has pretty good lengthened trots. I just didn't go for it quite enough there. And then we go into our stretchy trot. And that wasn't awful. Again, more difference could have been shown. His nose could have gone lower and out. And I thought that was a decent walk transition, just probably a touch too early. And then we're coming into our free walk. And a little jig at the start, but not atrocious. Free walks are historically a bit tough for us. And it's not bad. Again, it could be a touch more forward, but he stretches out just a touch and then stays rideable as I go to bring him back into a working walk. Then we go back up into our working trot, and the test is kind of mirrored, so we'll do pretty much the same thing that we just did, but this time on the other rein. So a short diagonal followed by a 15-meter circle. You can see he gets just a touch against the bridle there, but the rest of the circle is pretty nice. It's a decent size, it's a decent shape. And then we go up into our second canter transition. And again, he gets a touch against the bridle there, but that's actually one of our better transitions, so I'm not too mad about that. And then a lengthened canter. And again, this is a new level for us, so I definitely did not go for the lengthenings as much as I could have, but that was much politer, going from lengthened canter back to working canter. And again, Henri's haunches swing to the inside when we do our canters, so that's just something to work on. And now we go into our last lengthened trot, and that I was much happier with. We showed a little bit of difference. And then we come up for our center line for our last halt. And his haunches swung out just a touch, but it was pretty square. So all in all, I was pretty happy with his dressage test. And now we'll move into the show jump. The show jump at training level is 1 meter or 3'3". So we'll come up to the first jump, and then a very nice jump from Henri there. He was wonderful for this entire show jump round. I was very pleased with him. He stayed very rideable, and we had a bit of a tap there, but it stayed up and nice over the third. And there's not really, I think, a whole lot for me to say here. I was just so pleased with how rideable he was. The biggest comments are on myself. My upper body moves a touch fast. I'm a little bit loud with it in the air, and my stirrups definitely could have been a hole or two shorter. But Henri was wonderful. The doubles were each a little short, and I think he did a great job of keeping his feet out of the way. So double clear, and super happy with that. And last but not least, we'll move into cross country. I had turned my watch on, and as I turned it on, I realized that I did not actually know what optimum time was, so I'm just doing my best here. He gets a little crooked to the first one, but not awful. And what I love about the schooling shows is that you have these little chaser carts instead of fence judges at individual fences, so you just get like the best videos. And I love riding at Majestic. I think they always do such a good job for all of their shows. And everything is, like, the courses are set so nicely. Their volunteers are all very sweet. And now we're coming to the second jump, and I got a little bit close to that, but not bad. And then the third jump is this roll top here, hidden behind the hedges. And a lovely shot over that. And now we go into this little backfield section, which we have not actually been in at a show, so Henri is drifting towards the right because he is a bit confused. And then just back here we have this shark's tooth, which Henri jumps super. And then we have the first combination of the course, 5A and B, which is a roll top with some brush on top. And then 6 strides down to another roll top shape thing that's a little bit narrower. And then we start coming up. And here I probably could have let him gallop a little bit, but I was still stuck a little bit, I think, in the novice pace mindset. So I slowed him down, sat him up a little bit. And he jumped that lovely. And then we come to a table. And now we're coming to the next combination on course, which is something we have not schooled before. It's an up bank, and Henri's super with up banks, 4 strides to this roll. And that was super. I don't think that he could have done that any better. And now I didn't get him quite right in the bridle here, and he was actually very good for jumping for me because I got him way too close to that house into the water. And Henri has no problems with water and to the corner. And I love seeing corners at novice and training level because they're still small enough to be jumped as tables, but it's a good training step when you're moving up, learning how to jump the different shapes of jumps. And now we're coming to a hedge jump, a brush jump, and no problem there. And now we're going to start heading up the hill. And this is about halfway through the course. And again, like show jump, I do think my stirrups could have been a touch shorter. Got a little bit close to that, but not too bad. And now we come to the next combination on course, which is just 2 roll tops. Super shot into the first one, and then no problem out over the second one. And here's where my fitness could have been a little bit better. I was breathing pretty heavily. And this is also usually where the ditches are, but there was no coffin on this training course. And now we're headed to the last combination on course, which is an ABC. It is a log stack, and then a few strides to a down bank, and then another few strides to a chevron shape jump. And he was just a little bit careful there, and then super good over that, because again, I got him in a touch close. And now we're 2 jumps from home. And I looked at my watch, but again, I had no idea what time I was actually shooting for. So I figured we were doing okay. And then we have the Tricaner. And Henri is just an awesome cross-country horse. Not a lot really phases him. Typically, if we have any problems on the cross-country, it's going to be my fault and not his. And now, just a nice gallop up to the very last jump, which is a nice friendly table, and then through the finish flags. And Henri was awesome. Double clear, and we finished on our dressage score of a 32.1. So a super move up. Super excited with him, and I can't wait to keep going for the rest of the season.